"You're exaggerating. It's just a wedding," said my mother when I was not invited to my own sister's wedding. Instead, I booked a trip. A few days later, my family wouldn't stop calling my phone. "My name is Ethan. I'm 33 years old, an architect, and I live in Austin, Texas. And 2 weeks ago, I found out that my younger sister, Emily, erased me from her life as if I had never existed. And she did it in the most elegant and cruel way possible, a wedding without an invitation. Yes, my own sister, my little girl, the one I cared for, defended, protected, the one I sacrificed friendships, relationships, vacations, even dreams for. The same girl who cried on my shoulder when mom yelled at her. The one who called me at midnight when her first boyfriend dumped her. The one who lived in my apartment for 2 years while she was studying and could not even afford the electricity bill. The one I bought her first laptop for and paid for her master's degree. Emily, my own blood. And yet, when she announced her wedding in Santa Barbara, California, I did not get a single word. Not a text. Not an email. Nothing. And the worst part? That sentence. The one that still burns in my chest. "We've only invited the people who are truly important to us." She said it on Instagram, in a story, using that sweet tone she always used to manipulate everyone. With her fake smile, wearing her trial white dress, romantic music playing in the background. And yes, I saw the names. All the distant cousins, her high school friends, her old literature teacher, even a great aunt who lives in Brazil. Everyone, except me. Me. When I asked Mom, because of course I asked, even with a lump in my throat and shaking hands, she just gave me this, in that cold, superior tone she always uses. "Oh, Ethan, don't make it bigger than it is. It's just a wedding. Just a wedding." As if I did not know what that really meant. As if it did not hurt that after everything, after years of being her shield, her shoulder to cry on, her personal bank, I was not even worthy of being among the important ones. That was the moment. Not when I saw the guest list. Not when my aunt wrote me asking why I wasn't going. Not when Dad, as always, washed his hands of it. No, it was when my mother, the same one who demanded I sacrifice myself for the good of the family, looked me in the eyes and told me it was just a wedding. That's when something broke. Something inside me. Something I have no intention of fixing. That night, while the family group chat was blowing up with memes about the wedding prep, I did something I never imagined I would do. I booked a trip to Miami, Florida. First class. Ocean View Resort and Spa. Sea view. Just for me. And before closing my suitcase, I posted a story. A glass of champagne. Sunset. Feet in the pool. Sometimes, family isn't where you were born. It's where you finally feel at peace. 20 minutes later, I had 8 missed calls. And that was only the beginning. Miami welcomed me with sun and silence. A different kind of silence. Not the one that comes with family indifference. Not like those dinners where everyone talked over me as if I did not exist. This was the silence of peace. During the first few days, all I did was walk on the beach, swim, drink white wine, and watch the sea swallow the sun. I turned off notifications. Forgot about the family group chat titled Emily's Wedding. But the past has long arms. And family, even longer. Day 3. I decided to check my phone. 48 messages. 11 missed calls. A new post from my sister with the caption, "Counting down the days with the people who truly matter." And there they were. Cousins, distant uncles and aunts, even one of her high school teachers. Who wasn't there? Me. The one who basically raised her while our parents were always working. The one who paid for her master's degree. The one who endured her breakups, her dramas, her silences. That same day, my mother sent me a message. "Sweetheart, don't take it like that. It's just a wedding. Don't be dramatic. Just a wedding." As if it didn't hurt. As if I didn't understand that what Emily really meant was, "You're no longer part of my circle. You don't bring me prestige. You're of no use to me." And that was when I posted the first photo. Me in the hotel's infinity pool, holding a glass of champagne, with the caption, "Sometimes, walking away is the only way to breathe again." Hashtag new life, hashtag no filters. Day 5. My Aunt Margaret, the only one who ever showed a bit of warmth, called me. "Ethan, sweetheart, what's going on? Your mother says you're creating a scene on social media. Emily is upset." Upset? Why? Because I'm showing I'm doing fine? Because I'm not crying like they expected? Aunt Margaret sighed. "I'm just saying, try not to add more fuel. Your sister is nervous. It's her big moment." "Yeah," I replied. Her moment to erase the people who no longer serve her. Day 6. My father, that man who always lived in my mother's shadow, called me. His tone was the usual, diplomatic, neutral, cowardly. Ethan, don't take it personally. These things get complicated. You know how women get with weddings. And why am I the only one who's not there? Why were even the neighbors invited? Because that's what Emily decided. You're an adult, son. Not everything revolves around you. Of course. But when something needs to be paid for, when there's a problem, then everything suddenly revolves around me. And then came the final blow. A message from my mother. Ethan, can you co-sign the loan for Emily's new apartment? We're missing your documents for the bank. We already talked about this. They had not talked to me. They had already made the decision for me. As always. As if my salary was part of the family budget. As if my bank account were part of a shared inheritance. And there, with the sun setting over Miami and a glass of wine in my hand, I knew. Never again. I recorded a voice message for the family group chat. My voice was calm but firm. I'm not signing anything. I'm not explaining anything. I'm no one's bank, nor anyone's emotional lifeline. If this is normal to you, I wish you luck. But I'm done. Silence. Then, little by little, the messages started rolling in. First Emily. Then Mom. Even Emily's fiancé. All in the same tone. Confusion, surprise, guilt disguised as concern. But I was already gone. Further away than ever. And for the first time, I felt close to myself. All right. The wedding day arrived. Saturday. I was in Miami, having a peaceful breakfast by the sea. Coffee, toast, and zero stress. Meanwhile, back in Santa Barbara, everyone was in full event of the century mode. I won't lie. I was curious. I opened Instagram. The usual. Emily posting 1,000 stories. White dress, bouquet, makeup, walking in with dad like they were super close. Her friends yelling. The most beautiful bride. And the typical background music. Probably Ed Sheeran or something like that. All very pretty. Very perfect. Or so it seemed. Around 12 o'clock, my phone started vibrating nonstop. First a message from my cousin Jake. Dude, did you see this? Linked to a Twitter thread. I opened it. A video. Recorded from one of the back pews in the church. Emily at the altar, holding her fiancé's arm. Music playing, people clapping. And suddenly, the guy freezes. Literally stands still. As if something just snapped in his mind. She whispers something, you can't hear it. He replies without looking at her. And without another word, he turns around and walks out. Just like that. In front of everyone. A woman screamed. Another started crying. The groom's mother stood up like she had just been punched in the chest. Emily stood frozen, eyes wide as saucers. The pastor had no idea what to do. A security guy tried to stop the groom. He shoved him aside and walked right out the main door. The camera wobbled, fell to the floor. People ran after him. Voices, shouts. Total chaos. I watched the video 3 times. I could not believe it. I thought, this has to be a joke. A setup. But no. 3 different accounts posted it, all from different angles. It was confirmed. The wedding crashed and burned. Right at the altar. With 150 guests watching. And of course, what followed was predictable. A message from Aunt Susan. Ethan, please answer. Emily is a mess. We need you to come. Excuse me? Now I'm part of the family again. Now I'm useful? After not even being invited to the wedding. After Emily publicly stated only the important people would attend. I left the message on read. Then my mother. Please, Ethan. This has been a disaster. You have no idea what has happened. Your sister needs you. I didn't reply either. A little while later, I got a voice message. It was Brandon, my cousin Jessica's husband. Bro, you wouldn't believe the mess. The groom found some messages between Emily and her ex. Total madness. They were recent, like 2 months ago. Someone showed him right before the ceremony. It wasn't random. He had it printed, paper in hand, threw it in her face in the dressing room. Said something like, this is what I'm getting into if I marry you, and left. Boom. And that's when I remembered that time Emily called me at 2 in the morning crying because her ex had left her for someone else. I got in the car and went to pick her up. Said nothing. Just drove. I spent an hour listening to her say nobody understood her. I made her soup, let her sleep in my bed. I took the couch. And 2 days later, she got back with that same guy. And she never even thanked me. So no, I wasn't surprised she kept messaging him. And I wasn't surprised someone found out and threw it in her face on her wedding day. And honestly, I didn't feel sorry. I felt angry. Because I know that if things had gone well, they wouldn't have even remembered I existed. I spent the afternoon at the spa. Massage session, sauna, total relaxation. I posted a photo. Me in a robe, drink in hand, turquoise ocean in the background. Less drama, more massages. Hashtag self-care, hashtag not available. Total silence. I turned off my phone. No vibrations. Nothing. No more. No more, Ethan will fix it. No more, Ethan, help us. No more being the emotional crutch for a family that only sees me when I'm convenient. And while everything was burning down back in Santa Barbara, I slept like a king. For the first time in years. I went back to Austin a week after the wedding. Not out of nostalgia, not for family. I had things to wrap up, had to empty out the apartment, handle paperwork. The bare minimum. I did not answer a single message. I did not open even one of the 80 unread WhatsApp messages waiting for me. I read a few from the lock screen. Emily is devastated. Mom won't stop crying. Don't be cruel. Cruel. Me. After they erased me from the wedding like I never existed. After years of putting up with everything and swallowing every humiliation in silence. Now I'm the cruel one. Well, yes. If that's what being cruel means, then call me cruel. I went to the law office. I removed my parents as beneficiaries from my accounts. I updated my will. And I closed that account my mother used for family things that always, magically, ended up paying for something for Emily. That same day, I got a message from her. Ethan, the grocery card isn't working. Did something happen with the account? I replied, account closed. Nothing else. I did not feel like giving explanations. And then came the part that always happens when you start setting boundaries. Someone shows up in person. My mother came without warning. Doorbell, 8 in the morning. I was still in my robe, coffee in hand. I opened the door, and there she was, with that face she puts on when she wants you to feel sorry for her. Ethan, are you really going to do this? We're your family. I didn't answer right away. I just stared at her. It was hard not to laugh at the performance. Just a few months ago, she made me feel awful for saying I was exhausted from work. One night, I remember, I showed up at my parents' house for dinner. I was worn out. My head literally hurt from stress. I told them I might need to take some time away, that I felt like no one was listening to me. You know what she did? She looked at me, laughed, and said, "Oh, Ethan, don't start with your drama. Always so dramatic." That sentence destroyed me. I kept it inside. Like always. I smiled again. Like always. But that night, I knew I could never show my real self in that house. I had to be useful, strong, available, back at the door. So now I'm family. After I wasn't important enough to have a chair at the wedding. She stayed quiet. Emily is really bad, Ethan. She's in bed. She won't talk to anyone. That's not my problem. It hurt to say it, I won't lie, but it had to be said. Your father is very worried. And where was he when you all decided I wasn't even worth a seat in the church? Nothing. Silence. I'm tired, I told her. Tired of always being available for you. Of paying, of holding everything together, of rescuing everyone. But we're your family. No, you used to be my family. Now you're just people who share my last name. Nothing more. I closed the door. Not in a dramatic way. I just closed it. Period. 2 weeks later, I left Austin. I moved to San Diego. A new apartment, small but peaceful. Remote work. Simple routine. No one bothering me. I did not tell anyone. There was no goodbye dinner. No final conversation. I just left. The same way they left me out of their perfect wedding. And ever since then, I sleep better. My phone no longer wakes me up with, Ethan, can you do me a favor? I no longer have to explain how I spend my money. I no longer have to pretend I'm okay, just to avoid being called dramatic. Now I finally live in peace. Without guilt. Without regret. Without them. 6 months went by. 6 months without emergency calls. 6 months without, Ethan, can you? 6 months without having to swallow everything in silence. And for the first time in my life, peace. I am not saying it was easy at first. The first few days in San Diego felt strange. I would wake up expecting someone to need me. Like a reflex. But after a while, the silence began to feel good. I would wake up, make coffee, work in peace. No one expecting me to fix their mess. No one telling me I was overreacting. I was living for myself. And that, I had never done before. 3 weeks in, the first attempt at reconnection arrived. A message from Emily. Hi. I know I have no right, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I read it. Left it there. 2 hours later, another one. I made a lot of mistakes. I needed you that day, and I needed you after. But you were cruel too. And I laughed. Me? Cruel? After you erased me? After years of using me for everything you needed, and then ignoring me during the most important moment of your life? I didn't reply, and it wasn't out of pride. It was out of dignity. Then Mom, she sent me an email. A simple email. Son, we all make mistakes. What matters is forgiveness. Family is all we have. No, what we have are choices. And I made mine. A month later, I ran into them by accident. I was in San Diego, sitting at a cafe terrace, having a drink with a friend. Mom, Dad, and Emily were there for the weekend to unwind. They saw me. Emily looked down. Dad waved, awkwardly. Mom walked over to my table. Ethan, are you not going to say hello? I'm busy. You're not even going to talk to your sister? Did she talk to me before cutting me out? Silence. What do you want me to say, Mom? That I'm happy to see you. I just want us to be a family again. And I said it straight. I already have a family. The people who respect me. The ones who don't use me. You had your chance. You lost it. She froze. I turned away. Went back to my coffee. Now, consequences. Because yes, everything has consequences. Emily. She is still living with a friend in a rented apartment. The mortgage for the new place fell through because I did not co-sign the loan. She's working a temporary job and, from what I heard, she's on medication for anxiety. Do I feel sorry for her? A little. But also, that does not give me back the years I spent being her emotional and financial support. My mother. Now she goes around saying that Ethan is going through a phase. According to my aunt, she plays the victim in front of everyone. She sold her car, canceled her gym membership, and no longer goes to her usual beauty studio. The shared account is gone. The faucet was turned off. My father still says nothing. He never called, never wrote. I saw him in San Diego that day, and he waved at me like I was the doorman of the building. I do not expect anything else from him. He was never really present. Extended family. Total silence. 2 cousins messaged me privately saying, I understand you, but I don't want problems with your mom. Same old story. Plenty understand you in secret. Very few will say it out loud. And me? I am fine. I am at peace. I have a small studio apartment in San Diego. I work remotely. I have clients who respect me. I go for runs in the morning. I read. I write. I laugh more. No one asks me for explanations. No one demands more than I can give. No one makes me feel like I have to earn their affection. Today marks exactly 6 months since the wedding. And I haven't seen them again. And honestly, I don't miss them. Sometimes people ask me if I feel guilty for breaking away from my family. And the truth is, I feel free. I finally feel like myself. They used to call me selfish, but they never realized what someone looks like when they finally start living for themselves. Thank you for reading. And if you're reading this while wondering whether to cut ties with what's breaking you apart, do it. Don't hesitate. Because peace has no price. And living for others is not really living. Ethan. Final update. Responding to your comments. Well, truly, I did not expect this. I posted my story just to let it out. To release something I had been carrying for years. I thought a few people might relate. I thought others would criticize me harshly, which also happened. But I never imagined so many people would write saying, the same thing happened to me. It's like you're telling my life. Thank you for putting this into words. And I am the one who has to say thank you. I read every comment. Some made me cry. Yes, believe it or not, I cried too. Others made me angry, I admit it. And many made me remember things I had buried deep, covered with that typical phrase. It's not that big of a deal. But it was. It really was. And that is why I am writing this final update. Because I want to respond to a few messages that kept showing up. But they're your family. One day you'll regret it. I've been hearing that since I can remember. As if sharing blood gave someone a free pass to do whatever they want to you. As if the word mother or sister automatically came with the right to hurt you. No, I do not regret it. And you know what? If I ever do regret something, it will be for not setting boundaries sooner. For letting myself be used for so long. For trying to belong in a place that shut me out years ago. You sound resentful too. Couldn't you have talked it out before disappearing? I did talk. I swear I did. One time, with a trembling voice, I told my mother. Sometimes I feel like no one sees me. Do you know what she answered? Oh, Ethan, always with your feelings. Why do you have to ruin everything with your emotions? In my family, talking about how you feel is playing the victim. Setting boundaries is being ungrateful. And getting tired is being selfish. It was not resentment. It was self-defense. And yes, when someone who always says yes finally says no, Everyone else sees it as an attack. But it is not. It is emotional survival. Did it hurt to walk away? So much. I do not show it often, but yes. It hurt. It hurt to remove my sister from my favorites. It hurt to block my mother. It hurt not replying to Aunt Margaret's voice message. But it hurt more to stay. To keep waiting for the day they would finally see me. Appreciate me. Value me. And that day never came. There were nights I fell asleep crying. Days when I felt empty. Moments when I asked myself, what if I'm the one who's wrong? But no, I wasn't. I was just tired. Of giving. Of showing up. Of holding everything together. And getting nothing in return. Not even the bare minimum. Would you ever speak to them again? Not today. And not out of pride. But because going back would be like walking into a burning house hoping this time I won't get burned. If someday they change, if they truly do, not with fake tears or guilt-filled emails, but for real, then maybe. But only if I can return as a person. Not as a fixer. Not as a bank. Not as the one who always takes the hit. I want to thank everyone who commented with empathy. To those who shared heartbreaking stories that left a lump in my throat. To those who told me, I believe you, even if it hurts. And also, thank you to those who criticized. Not all of it came from a bad place. Some of you helped me see things from another angle. But if you, the one reading this, feel invisible in your own family, if you feel like you're constantly giving and no one sees you, if you think speaking up is making drama, that crying is being a burden, and that setting boundaries is being selfish, you're not crazy. You're not the problem. And you're not alone. It's not selfishness. It's self-worth. And yes, at first it hurts. But after that, you breathe. And you realize that the air, without guilt, without manipulation, without having to ask permission to exist, feels different. Thank you for reading me. Thank you for letting me share all of this. It helped me more than you can imagine. Ethan.
After listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind, or maybe it has brought back some old memories. Every day on Reddit, new experiences and moments create fresh stories, and they connect all of us. Everyone has their own unique journey in life, and we all try to understand the world in our own way. These kinds of moments remind us that we are all human, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, and always learning something new. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it with your friends. Your thoughts and feedback are always valuable to us, as they motivate us to create even better content. Every story has its own unique angle, and our goal is to understand everyone's perspective and make our content diverse and relatable. Stories like these help us realize that life's journey is different for everyone, and by hearing other stories, we learn something new. You can also share your own stories with us. Your experiences are valuable to us as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave your feedback. We aim to create content that brightens your mind and gives you new ideas every time. If you've already seen this video before, your feedback is still important. With every piece of feedback, we can improve our content and bring a new perspective to our viewers. Today, what we saw was just a small part of the many stories shared on Reddit and across the world. It's a reminder of how we all try to understand life by sharing our experiences with each other. This video was only an example of how we try to connect with others through storytelling, learning about different sides of life. We hope to continue sharing such stories that help us all learn and grow together. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon. If you haven't already, please like and follow for more amazing content. Your support keeps us going, and we will strive to bring you more thought-provoking and heartwarming stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious. *.